So good afternoon everybody, and a very warm welcome to the Piaggio MP3 Explorer channel. And my name's Susanna and I'm your Piaggio MP3 Explorer, and today we're sort of on a lay-by. I'm not going to say a quiet lay-by because we're just off the A32, but it's quiet. The actual lay-by itself is quite quiet, so I could do this video because where I live there isn't much privacy, so this is about as private as it's going to get. So the whole point of this video is about the top box, because this week I've just fitted a new rack and a new top box to it, and in this video I'm going to show you how you do it. And so what I wanted to sort of clarify, sort of saying to begin with, before I show you, I'm going to show it to you in stills, because like I just sort of touched upon, where I live isn't exactly private, and so I can't really do much in the way of filming. So what I did do is I took some still shots, and what I'll do is I'll do a little voiceover, just explain to you what the images mean and all the rest of it. But just to begin with, I just thought I'd sort of share with you why I've got the top box. Now, one of the reasons, as you can see, is obviously here's my helmet, but my helmet does not fit underneath the seat. It just doesn't. It's just too. It just doesn't fit under there because there's not enough room. And unfortunately, it's something that I wanted to do. I wanted to put my helmet because I get a bit fed up of wandering around or having day trips, and then you can't do anything with it because you're just carrying the helmet all day long. So let me show you what the space is underneath. Now under here, it does seem quite roomy, and they do say you can fit a helmet in here, but in my experience, even with my old helmet, I couldn't fit that in there, which is a bit of a shame really, because of the contours that you have going on at the bottom here. It doesn't allow me to fit my helmet in here. I mean, it still can fit a lot in here, don't get me wrong, but you just can't fit the helmet. And even my old helmet, my new helmet, and my new helmet is actually a medium, it's not even a large. So that was one of the reasons for changing and putting on a bike rack on the back here. Now I know that top boxes aren't exactly everyone's cup of tea, and to be honest with you, it's not entirely my cup of tea either. But to be fair, it has grown on me quite a bit since I've put it on, and let me show you what it's like inside. So you get two red keys, and that's to lock it, that's to unlock it, and then you just press down and lift. Now what I do is, this is my actual helmet. My apologies if the sun's really getting in the way, but this is my helmet bag, so I use this to protect the helmet when I put it away. So let me go and show you put away. So hopefully, as you can see that it's put away nicely here, and it's got my helmet and my gloves. Now as you can see, it is a very snug fit. If I just go out, this is an SH33, so that's 33 as in 33 litres, and it's a shard. Now when I bought this, you know, I've actually got quite lucky with a helmet, because I sort of bought a medium one, because I think they start from about 20 odd litres or something up to about 60, but I didn't want a massive one, but I just wanted one that I could put my helmet in, and this one only just fits my helmet, which I'm really, so if I just shut this down, you can see that it closes up and locks up nicely. My helmet's locked away, and all I have to do is hang on a second, it's just because of the fact that I didn't put it in properly. There you go, and then that's it. Like I said, it is a snug fit. That's why, you know, it didn't lock the first time round. So that is now locked. You can't open that at all. So that's cool. And now you just have to unlock it, and that's it. Job done. And you can also lift it off. So that's the main reason why I've bought the top box, because when I go out on my days out, I can't fit it under the seat, and I don't really want to be carrying the helmet all day long. So if you're interested in how you fit a shard top box and rack to your Piaggio MP3 300, which is what I have here. Then stay tuned for the rest of the video, and I'll come back to you at the end. So welcome to my voiceover, and the reason why we're doing the voiceover, like I mentioned earlier, is the fact that that there isn't much privacy where I live, so it's difficult to film this particular fitting of the rack without being interrupted by various other noises and people. So anyway, so in this first picture here, you can see the tools that I bought. So these are the first two pictures. Basically, the first picture just shows you the contents, which is the hex and spline set that I bought. I bought it from Toolstation. The only caveat to this is it doesn't come with the actual ratchet itself. So you can just, if you've got a ratchet at home, you can use either the 1/2 inch or a 1/4 inch socket provided in the box to attach it to your ratchet. And in the second picture, you can see it's called Minotaur. I got it from Hex and Spline Set, and I got it from my local tool station for about £20. So this box plus the actual ratchet itself was all that you pretty much needed to complete this task. So in this first picture here, you can see two boxes that have arrived. When I bought this from eBay, and I bought it as a set. So it comes as a complete kit. So you didn't have to sort of order one part and then order the next part. So it's all kind of married together. So the top box is actually the rack, and the bottom bit is actually the top box itself. And as you can see, it's from Shard. And that arrived from eBay, and that was, like I said, I think it's £145 all in, and for top and bottom. So it's a complete kit. It's £145 in case you're interested. I got it off of eBay, and it arrived with FedEx, and FedEx was super speedy in getting it to me. So great credit to them as well, and to the seller on eBay. So there was absolutely no issues whatsoever. So I thought I'd show you in this second picture the actual picture of the scooter itself in its current state, without the top box and without the rack. So that's the standard sort of rack that comes with the grab rail, I should say, that comes with the scooter without doing anything. So as you can see on the back there isn't much in the way of support there to really support a top box. So that's why you needed to buy another rack in order to be able to support the top box, because the one that comes with it, the grab rail, is just literally a grab rail. So in this angle, you can see a better view of the rear grab rail and how far it comes out, which is basically not very far at all. So there is no support here to be able to mount a box on there. So effectively what you have to do is remove and replace the grab rail that you see here. So in this next picture, you can see the inside of my inside of the scooter, underneath the seat capacity, storage capacity, and it looks pretty big, and it is pretty big, to be fair. Unfortunately, because of the contours of the bottom of the storage area, it does say you can fit a helmet in there, but I haven't been able to fit any of my helmets in there so far. Maybe if you've got one of those half-faced helmets or something like that, or maybe one of those old school retro style maybe ones, that you might be able to fit in there. But although it's a good capacity, unfortunately the contours of the base and also the contours of underneath the seat means that you just can't drop the seat and lock it into place with the helmet in there. It just won't close. So in the next this next picture here, you get to see obviously the box, the under-seat storage is still available, but I want you, in this picture, the reason why I've taken it is just so you can see one of the bolts that's there just on the grab rail itself, and you can see, and there's one on the other side, so as well. So there's 4 in total. There's one on the bottom that you can see here. There's one directly on the other side, and then there's 2 underneath the plate. Now,
This next picture shows just pretty much just where the rear light cluster is underneath to remove the plate. When I first got this particular scooter, this was missing. The plate was there, but there was no screw or anything attachment to hold it together. So I actually put a screw in there just to hold it into place, a really short screw. So this is the only time I needed like a Phillips screwdriver to undo it. But you may have another type of either a hex screw or something like that, or maybe a spline one underneath. Mine didn't have one when I got it, so that's why it's just got. But that's where you'll find it. So that to remove the plate, you need to go just look underneath and just remove that, and then that plate will lift off. Now, in this next view, you can see the plate removed. You can see the other two bolts that are there, and you have to take those off as well. I should say that there are completely new fittings and spacers that come with the new rack. So you won't be reusing any of these bolts that you take out, because you'll have a completely new set of spacers, washers, and bolts to fit in. On this next picture here, I should have sort of, before you start removing any of these bolts, this is basically a can of like a WD-40, basically penetrating fluid is what I'm trying to say. And what I did is I mean, I don't know whether I needed to use it, but as a precaution, what I did is the night before I was planning on doing the rack change, I literally squirted a load of penetrating fluid on the 4 bolts there and just let it soak overnight. And then I went to work. Before I went to work the next day to fit the rack, it was already done. It was just literally the whole day. It was just sat there, just penetrating. And then overnight, and then the following day, I went and took out the rack. So hopefully, the penetrating fluid actually made a difference. And actually, the bolts that came out, they were pretty firm, but they weren't. I could still remove them. So I think it did do a job. So just bear that in mind. That might be something you might want to do. So on this next view, you can see that the rack has been removed, and you can clearly see the 4 holes that basically where the screws, where the bolts have been removed, and where you're going to put the new rack onto. Now, what I did do, I don't know if I've shown it. It might be on the next picture, but I did actually pre-line up my new rack before uninstalling this one, just to make sure. But you can never quite tell. But sometimes with these third-party kind of things, sometimes the holes are a little bit misaligned, or they're not quite straight, or what. But to be fair, the one that I got was absolutely spot on. There was no issues with the hole alignments at all, and everything went together really, really well. So on this next one, you can see that I've already attached the rack, and you've got the plate there as well. So, and you can see how it fits nicely. And that went together really well. All you did is just follow the instructions, and I have to say the instructions are very simple. I mean, I'm not a particularly great DIYer as such, but this did take me about 20 minutes, 25 minutes to fit. So, you know, anyone can do this job. It's not a difficult job. So if you are a bit daunted, don't be. It doesn't take. It's literally 4 bolts that you take out, and you replace them with 4 bolts. But just make sure you read the instructions, because there are spacers and there are different heights. To make sure that you put the spacers and the nuts and the washers in the correct position. But it's all self-explanatory. So in this next picture, it's just a slightly different angle, but as you can see, it's all there. It's all done. And you can just see the flat base on the top where the mount will sit onto. And then on this next view, you can see it from the side view. And like I said, you've got the holes on the top of the base plate on the top. So those are your mounting holes where you mount the shad mounting plate to. So on this next image, you'll basically can see the shard mounting plate, and it comes with a cover as well. So that's the bit on the right. So, and then on the left is the main mounting plate, and then there's various holes. So it's supposed to be a universal fit. So essentially what you do is you just line up the holes with your rack, and hopefully there'll be a set of holes that will line up with your rack. But like I said, because I bought this as a complete kit, it automatically just lined up. So it wasn't really a problem. But that's what you get. That comes as part of the top box. Now here you've got some spaces here, some orange spaces, which go into the holes that you want to use. And as you can see, there's four orange spaces, and then there's four bolts, and they've got locking nuts as well. Now there are some different lengths of nuts depending on your rack. So depending on your use. On my situation, I needed the shorter bolts. They worked perfectly adequately and worked perfectly fine for this application. So in here you can see it laid from a different angle, and you can see how it sits onto how it sits onto the back of the scooter, and it fit really well. The holes lined up absolutely perfectly. So now this is a view from underneath, and you can see underneath the rack how it mounts. So the bolt goes through the plate, underneath the plate, and then you use the locking nuts to be able to mount it and secure it all into place. Now, depending on your rack, you might need the longer, but it does come with plates, and it does come with longer screws. And then on this picture here, you can see it that it's been fitted, and that you've got the cover plate mounted on already. And on this angle, you get a better look of the cover plate. And basically, the cover plate is literally it just clips into place, and it just sits there, and then you put the box on top of that. Now, I did find this to be a bit flimsy, to be honest, and it's a little bit warped because you have to sort of slightly bend it to get it into place. But I'm hoping that over time, especially with the top box sat on top of it, it will just flatten it anyway. I was just wondering whether or not maybe you should have maybe a clip in the middle or something like that to be able to secure it in the middle, because there seems to be a bit of flex in the middle. So here on this image, you can see the extra screws, the extra bolts, sorry, and these are the longer ones, and the extra plates, depending on how you're planning on mounting it to your bike. So there are some options with it. So here on this next image, you can see that I've taken it to work. And so what I did is, before I mounted the top box, I rode the bike to work and just tested the fitting and the rack itself on its own, just to make sure that there was no vibrations in the scooter, and in case anything needed tightening up. And the reason why I didn't put the top box on was because it's obviously clearly there's fittings underneath the plate. So I just didn't want to, I just wanted to leave that available. So if I got to work and there was issues with the fittings, I can tighten it without having to remove the top box. So that's why I just sort of made sure first that I rode it for a while without the top box, just to make sure that the fitting was okay. There was no vibrations, no rattling and all that kind of thing. And this is a picture of it at work, with the top box on. This was the following day. That's it with the top box on, and it looks really, really smart. I really like it. It's grown on me a lot. It's proven to be extremely handy and very useful already in the short time that I've had it. And this is a picture of it from another view. So these are the ones that you're going to see from various different angles. And that's pretty much how you kind of fit it. And as you can see on this final image here, you can see it out in the open and in use. And I think it looks really, really smart. I really like it. So hopefully this video will help somebody. And now I'm just going to hand over to myself.
So I hope you found this useful, this video, or somebody's found it useful. Like I said, I did try. To be honest, it's been a bit of a minefield, because you get a lot of these third-party places which claim that got parts that fit, and then when you try and fit them to the bike, they don't quite fit as designed. And to be fair, I got this off of eBay, the rack and the top box from the same seller, so it came as a complete kit for just under, I think it's 145 or 140 pounds, something like that. I think if you get the bigger one, which in hindsight I would have got, I might have got something bigger. I mean, when I received the box, it just seemed like it was massive, but when I got it on, it just seems like it is the right size, but I would have liked it maybe a little bit bigger, to be fair. Now, bearing in mind that this is an SH33, so it's a 33 litre, and this is a medium helmet. So if you've got a large helmet or an extra large helmet, I can't guarantee that it will fit on a 33. It might have to go up for a larger size up. So do bear that in mind. So to just, so basically this 33 will take my medium helmet. But then again, all helmets are different shapes and sizes, so you have to kind of really sort of try it out. It is a bit of a minefield. But anyway, I hope this video helped somebody, and until the next time, my name's Susanna and I'm your Piaggio MP3 Explorer, and bye for now.